Hello and welcome to my latest weekly video news from Madison's. Well, I thought I'd give a bit of a roundup of what's going in the rental world this week. And really interesting to see London suddenly massively recovering. So London really did badly in the pandemic. There was a huge drive to have more space. There was no longer the need to work from home. And of course for tenants, especially those on rolling contracts, when they could just simply hand in their notice and move out somewhere where they got those things. So rents dropped by 6.4% by the end of 2020, a huge drop. Well, last quarter alone, they were up 6.1% and now up at pre-pandemic levels and expected to continue to rise, actually. Foxtons came out with a survey where they expect rentals in the capital to increase by 13% by 2030. So really big growth seen there in rental properties. And you might be interested in another report, therefore, on what landlords most look for what landlords should look for in a rental property to satisfy tenant demand at the moment. Well, that work from home space is definitely one thing. They want a second bedroom or space in a sitting room to put up an office area, to have a very distinct separate work from home space rather than camping out on the kitchen table. Also, they much prefer open plan living. There's been a huge drive for that, and they will much prefer something that's integrating the kitchen into a dining and or seating area as well. Being pet friendly, that's a big thing. Lots and lots of people have now got dogs. The rise of being a pet owner has become very strong in the country, so having a property that will take pets is great. Access to great transport links. We are seeing more people heading back to the office, so that is really important. And great schools. Some people very tactically rent to get their children into a great school and take that choice for a certain period of time, so that is very important. So things there to look for. And a landlord might also be interested to hear of the new energy efficiency proposals that have been made. So as you know, I've talked about it before, we have hugely un-energy efficient stock in our country, the biggest rate in Europe actually, because we have so many period homes which are difficult to make energy efficiency. And a think tank has suggested to the government that maybe landlords who buy an energy efficient home or who make it energy efficient within 2 years of living there should get a reduction on their stamp duty paid. So they'd have a new EPC done once they've completed the works. That could be putting in insulation, double glazing, a new boiler, and then they would get a rebate on their stamp duty for a thank you to making the property more energy efficiency. It's something I think that is going to have to be considered, because there needs to be some incentive for landlords. Remember, the target is by 2025 to have all rental properties at a C or above for new tenants, and by 2026 for existing tenants. So that's a huge target, not long away, as we see time marches on. And finally, ground rent. Well, that's something that often you have to take into account when you own a property and you're looking at renting it out. And that looks like it's going to be abolished. It was voted in favour in the House of Commons that it shouldn't, sorry, not completely abolished. That was a step that Labour wanted to take. It didn't quite get there on that vote, but certainly have it reduced to a peppercorn rent. So a really, really low rate will be paid now on ground rents, because there was developing a bit of a shark practice where properties would be made leasehold, new properties especially, would be made leasehold and then exorbitant ground rents charged. So that's been put in place to remove that. So lots of kind of interesting good news on there. And finally, just a quick story I saw on Japanese knotweed. Basically, this has been looked at by the House of Commons Science and Technology Committee, and they've decided that RICS, the Chartered Institute of Surveyors, have been a bit overzealous on their treatment of Japanese knotweed, and it's seen as it's not actually as bad as we all thought. It can be hugely disruptive to weakened foundations, or sort of slightly worsened foundations like you might have under a garage or a conservatory or a patio or a summer house, where you don't have the same building regulation standards about the depth of those foundations. But certainly with established dwellings with good foundations, it really can't do any damage. So they're saying that RICS need to abolish their 7-metre rule of basically reflecting the presence of Japanese knotweed in a valuation of a property. If it is within 7 metres, that is going to go. So that'll be good, slightly less panic around that particular plant. Well, don't forget, it's the Lantern Parade this Saturday, 5:30 it starts. All the details on the website here where you can catch it either at the beginning or during the walk. It's really lovely, a really, really beautiful display. I will certainly be there with my family. And also a property that we are about to launch, a lovely 4-bedroom plus a home study, or a small bedroom, so it could be 5-bedroom, semi-detached Victorian property on Merryworth Road, so heart of St John's. It is beautifully presented, has an amazing top floor conversion to make a lovely master suite with bathroom, lovely private garden, and just, yeah, presented absolutely beautifully. Going on at a guide of 795, so if that's of interest, do give us a call. Well, I hope you have a great week and look forward to seeing you next week. Bye bye.